Hey folks, welcome. Welcome. This is the 30th of October 2014. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. I don't know how long I'll be going, because I have some things to do. So, what do we know? That's a good question. What do we know? You ever have one of those moments where you can consider it an epiphany? Yeah. That's where I'm at for the moment. There is an epiphany that I had that, well, let's just say, I'll just put it to you this way. It's an eye-opener. And it's very, very rare that I get an epiphany. And it's very rare that it is as clear as it is. So, it's one of those things. On today's podcast, I want to remind you that tonight, on the 30th of October, I will have a live broadcast of some radio plays from yesteryear. Yes, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com. Search for Eastland Radio Repertory Theater, and you will hear some old-time radio shows from yesteryear. Tomorrow might be a surprise, though, because I'll be doing it tomorrow night as well at the same time. Go to eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com for more information, or go to Spreaker.com and search for Eastland Radio Repertory Theater. Check it out. Join me in the chat and let me know what you think. So tonight and tomorrow, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right there on Spreaker.com or eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com. On that note, I have a lot to discuss. First of all, people that are out there that want to debunk this person and debunk that person and all this and say, oh, whatever. Whatever they do. Whatever it is they do. I want to direct my next statement to them. Zip it. You don't know what you're talking about. You never have and you never will. Now, I don't give a crap what you say. I've had people in my face telling me I was wrong and they can prove it. They can debunk everything I say, blah, 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 blah. I showed them the information that I have. I said, if you want the ammunition, you're going to have to take what I give you. And here's what I have. All of it. Take this. Search it out. Take as much time as you want. Guess what? Not one person has ever come back to me to try to debunk me, because they know that I have the confidence to stand on my convictions and stand on what I believe and stand on what I know. They've never come back to try and debunk anything that I've said. And they keep, and these are the same people that keep saying, well, yeah, you're wrong. And I tell them to prove it, and they don't. And their excuse is, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Yeah, you do. You got to prove it to yourself. So if you want to have a decent, healthy, and a healthy debate and discussion about the issues, do your homework. If not, zip it. You don't know what you're talking about. You never have, and you never will. My next statement goes to, because I have a theater background. I've spent a lot of time in theater, a lot of time on stage, a lot of time listening to critics, a lot of time listening to a lot of other people that seem to think they knew what they're talking about. And I want to say this, movie and theater critics have no idea what they're talking about. You show me a movie critic or a theater critic that has either been on film in a movie or on the stage in a show, respectively, and then I'll believe it. But other than that, they don't know what they're talking about. And people will say it's their opinion. They sit in the audience seeing a show and they decide for themselves what they like and what they don't like. That's the problem. Okay? So, unless you've been in the business and know what is going on and how it works, I really don't think you have anything to say. Now, if you like a movie because, or if you like a theater production because, well, that's fine. If you don't like it because, that's fine too. But as I would like to point out, if you editorialize and go off, no pun intended, go off script, then yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. See, that's where I'm headed with that statement. If you have not been in the business, you don't know what you're talking about. If you're in the audience and you like something or don't like something you see, then that's fine. But don't editorialize and go off, into some other direction that you have no idea what you're talking about. This is what I'm saying. So zip it. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay? I know critics who have been on stage and, have done independent films and all that. Okay? So I would take their word over anybody else's, and listen to them more than I would anyone else. Now, the people, I just read part of an article today about, some of the movies that people have done that ruined their acting career, and there were some movie titles there that the commenters in that article, down below the article, the commenters were saying, oh, that movie was good. Why did it, and somebody says, well, geez, this article's crap, and, and all that, because most of the movies were really good, right? And most of the actors went on to do bigger and better things. So this is what I'm talking about. The article itself was not researched well. And the commenters, the general public, you and I, knew what they were talking about when they said that the article was crap, because most of the movies were really good. Give or take two of the ones they were talking about in the article. But other than that, here's part of my epiphany. No one knows anything. No one knows anything, and I'll tell you why. Because if you have a thought in your head and you go and research that thought and find that answer to that thought, you're going to have more questions. So you have never really truly answered that initial thought with anything to that will become a permanent foundation or belief in your life. Now, I say that knowing fully the spiritual background that I have, and in philosophy, I will say this. If people believe in God, and when I say God, you're looking at a guy in a big giant throne in a cloud, right? If people believe in God, one entity, one higher power, then why are there so many churches? Because no one has the right answer. No one, or no one group either, no one person or one group has all the right answers. Every church has a different point of view. Every church has a different method on disseminating the information. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't know either. Now, do we as individuals, aside from the churches? No, because we have more questions. So we don't have a one-size-fits-all answer that would form a foundation for our beliefs and be accurate and truthful and honest and direct. We don't have that. So nobody knows. Nobody knows. You know? And it is interesting to me to see that people actually don't know. Because those people who don't know, don't go to church, when they are confronted with questions pertaining to existence, what's the first thing they tell you? Oh my God, it's too deep for me. I don't want to go there. Because they don't want to go there. They don't want to understand. They just want to be the dumb sheep that they have always been. They don't want to know the facts of anything. So they just walk away. And as far as I'm concerned, to survive means you have to have knowledge of your environment. And when I say knowledge, I'm talking 100% involvement in all that there is in your environment. Of course, then you get into this area of time management and all this, so you have to really question what is important to you. But if you're just going to walk around like you're dumb as a box of rocks and don't really care, then what's the point? Pack your stuff, go find a hole in the wall somewhere, a mountain somewhere in your vicinity, and just live there. I mean, what's the point in even interacting in humanity with your neighbor, with your coworker? What's the point? Go be a hermit. But that's part of my epiphany, is that nobody really knows. I mean, I've come to the conclusion, or I shouldn't say conclusion. I have come to a point over 30 years ago where I realized that it's one energy in the universe that that man, not you and I specifically, but man and woman and groups of men and women have labeled that energy to be what their limited minds would understand to be whatever it is. Whether it's the doctrine of the Catholic Church or the dogma of the Presbyterian charismatic Pentecostal churches or any number of churches. We look at that one energy and we label it because we're limited in the understanding of it, and our labels represent our creation of God. So if anybody wants to argue that point, bring it on. Let's have a debate about it. I think the Apostle Paul had a debate with some philosophers up on Mars Hill, or whatever it was called back then. And the philosophers of that time got really pissed off. They got really pissed off, and they told Paul, what? Some were converted, but yeah, nobody wanted to get out of their rut. No one wanted to get out of their stagnant beliefs. No one wanted to get out of their own way and try to understand exactly what was going on at that moment, because we live moment by moment. We search for the past to support our future, but we fail in our present to establish a better future for ourselves. We look at our past and we look at our present situations and we're going, are we just doing it all over again? So we look at our past to hopefully determine a better future for ourselves, but we fail in the present to determine what it is we need to have a better future. Because we're well, some of us are very enlightened to what is going on. The minds of man are truly evil with evil intent. And therefore, the garbage that we see in the world today is the result of that evil mind and the intention and the implementation of those rules and regulations upon the humanity of Earth. A lot of people say that it's impossible for me to know as much as I know. And I've been asked, what college and university did you go to? I said, I didn't. All I did was sit down when I was a young kid and open a book. That's all I did. Am I self-taught? Not really. I was taught by many different people. I was taught the ways of the philosophers and spiritual people that you know as the masters of Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, and all of that. I was taught by some very ecumenical or more secular philosophers of our time. I've sat down with a lot of people and discussed a lot of issues, gathering information as I went along to build upon my own knowledge of the world around me. I've sat down with clergy. I've sat down with Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Pentecostals, you name it, Buddhists. I've talked with them. Maybe on a short time frame, but I got enough out of it to understand that, hey, they told me something I need to go check out. So I did. I've been a member of several Christian churches in California, in Stockton, California. But there's one thing above all of it, and that is my intuition. You know, that gut feeling you get, something inside of you says, hey, call your friend, and you go, I got to go take a shower or whatever, and then you find out your friend went in a hospital and they needed a ride or something. You find this out later on. You get that gut feeling that you're in a place that you're going, we got to get out of here. Yeah, you leave at that moment. Just don't even apologize to whoever you're with and just leave. I follow my intuition. I have a much higher spiritual understanding of things around us than I think most Christians do, than most Presbyterians do, than most Catholics do. And I use it to survive. Now, when I go to break, I'll be back. I just wanted to share that with you because it was part of my epiphany. There's more, but I don't want to share that right now. I have to meditate on it and go from there. But it's important to understand that we are individuals, but we are, as a population of the world, individually unique, but we are more apt to be, we're more apt to have something in common with someone else around the world. So let's start focusing on ourselves and how we survive and how we can relate to other people. And I'm sure that we can have a better day. So, I don't know. Questions, comments, concerns, even if you disagree with me, please let me know. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I'll read the email and reply. Put in the subject line radio so I know you heard this show. That's freeamericaradio at USA.com. Freeamericaradio at USA.com. I shall return right after this. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Free America Radio Network. Come join me on the Views Expressed Live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, on freeamericaradio.us.
October 29th, 30th, and 31st from Eastland Radio, Repertory Theater, and New West Theater, a Halloween special. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Eastland Radio, Repertory Theater presents a Halloween special just for you. You can also go to eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com.
Hey, folks, welcome back. How you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 30th of October, 2014. Hey, I got really deep there in the first segment, so let's lighten it up a bit, shall we? Let me take some of my cold coffee over here. I'm sure it's cold by now. Yep, I was right. Cold. Anyway. So come join me tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern at Eastland Radio Repertory Theater on Spreaker. Got some Halloween special going on, and I'd like you to be a part of it. So come join me in the chat on Spreaker.com at Eastland Radio Repertory Theater, or listen to it live or in the archives at eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com. So there you go. Hey, help out the arts. Support the arts, man. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so what do we got? We got something going on. Hey, San Francisco Giants. Awesome. That's my team, even though I live in Nevada and not in California anymore. That's my team. Yes, San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers. Did I say 49ers? Football season's coming up, isn't it? San Francisco Giants. Okay, Giants. I like football, too. I like sports. People are just fanatical about sports, aren't they? I see my friends wearing their favorite jersey and their hat and the glasses and the thing, and they got the cup and the beer and the thing, and I'm like, what? Oh, wait a minute, dude. Or dudette. What? I mean, come on, they got the room all decked out in their favorite, sports team, and I'm like, whoa. I like my team, San Francisco Giants and San Francisco 49ers, I like them, but I'm not going to build a shrine to them, okay? This is like, my goodness. You don't see me standing in a room with a jersey with the number 16 on it from San Francisco 49ers saying, "Oh, Montana, help us with the..." No, I don't do that, okay? I don't think anybody else does that, okay? But I'm just saying, getting a little carried away with the sports paraphernalia. Okay? Just getting a little wacky there, all right? I'm just saying. Think you might have to go get a little help. Just putting it out there. Something to think about. All right? So anyway, I like sports. I like baseball, I like football. Hockey, yeah. It's fun. I mean, the Stockton Thunder is coming up. So, I mean, in Stockton, where I grew up. So, I mean, home team, hey, support the home team. All that. So, and that's fine. I don't mind that. Okay? I'm not into basketball. I'm not into UFC. I'm not into all that. That's just mutant sport, man. Boxing and basketball, what the hell is that? That's just a mutant sport. Yeah, I said it. You guys want to hate me for it? I don't care. It's boxing? Here, you know what Roman Greco, wrestling was? Do you know what they did back then prior to putting on gloves? They fought with their bare hands. Okay? It's like, come on. That's just, I don't know. I've never liked boxing at all. When I was a kid, I'd watch Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, George Frazier, those people. And then I saw, up-and-comers like Sugar Ray Leonard and, Mike Tyson and people like that, And it's like, why? Why are they getting paid the money they get paid to get in to, beat the crap out of one another? This doesn't make any sense. But it goes right into the philosophies of George Orwell. George Orwell, a.k.a. Eric Blair. 1984, I mean, it goes right into that. Sports, entertainment. I mean, look at these entertainers in Los Angeles. I know people that live down in that area. And you can, because of the gossip magazines and all of that, and things that you can learn about the actors and actresses and performers in L.A., they make insane amounts of money to do what? Pretend. Remember when you were a kid and you were pretending, let's play Cowboys and Indians. Can't do that now. It's politically, you got to be politically correct. So how do you change that? Let's play Hicks and Native Americans? What? I don't get that. Let's play cops and robbers. Can't do that either. Now people are now playing NSA and the detainees or something. I don't know. It's just, things have changed over the years. All right, is what I'm saying. We don't see the world as we saw it before when we were kids and we were innocent and some of us were, and we were, bright-eyed about the future and we saw some great things and we had dreams and aspirations, and guess what? Turned out that growing up was not the best thing that could have happened to anybody. I don't care who you are, okay? It's a trap. Don't do it. You've seen that meme, right? No, but growing up, being an adult is, I think, to me, to be honest, is one of the greatest things in the whole world. Growing up and seeing the changes and being able to understand what's going on and help others and help them through the struggles, I think, is one of the greatest things in the world that anybody could ever do. So if you see somebody struggling, help them out, I mean, the story of the woman in the Bible had nothing left to her name except 2 little coins, and she dropped them into the thing. And that woman wound up living a lot longer than usual because people came to her aid. And that was, and that's what life is all about. But when you get caught up in all this, fanatical, almost a serious problem for most, you get caught up in watching these stupid reality shows and watching all of these programs that have your favorite actors in them, or going to the movies and dropping down $20 just to go, see a movie for a couple hours and supporting that indirectly. Because, the situation in life really elicits a response from us individually, collectively as humanity, and that is we need to survive. Now, obviously, we don't like talking about the fact that someday we won't be here, but that's the facts. So whatever you can leave behind to be able to help somebody else out, hey, isn't that great? I'm just saying. Wouldn't that be awesome? Don't so much leave a legacy, but leave a portion of your life that will help somebody throughout their lives. Your learning experiences are there not only for yourself, but they're there for other people. And be the example of other people. Didn't mean to get that deep, sorry. But really, when you look at the insanity of when I say insanity, I use that term loosely. When you look at the insanity of what's coming out of Hollywood and what's coming out of the entertainment industry, I just, Here, let me give you a comparison. Okay? Look at back in the 60s. You had performers such as Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Nancy Sinatra. You had, a bunch of people, 50s and 60s and such, coming up. And they were fabulous. And there was, great passion in their art, and they knew it. And to me, people who got paid for doing what they did back then was well worth it because they put quality work out for the general public, you and I. So when you did plunk down your money at a movie theater, it was worth it. But now you got so much that has bombarded your senses for so long that I don't think we know what quality in entertainment is anymore. I really don't. But that's my point of view. That's my perspective. If you have one, please share it if you would like. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com is the email address. TheWayneSPearshow.weebly.com is the website. Check it out. If you want to donate to this show, you can. If you want to sponsor the show, you can, because that would be awesome, wouldn't it? I'm not out to break your advertising budget, and that's the way I like to keep it. So go to TheWayneSPearshow.weebly.com, go to the sponsors page, and check that out. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is real simple. I got this nose thing going on. My sinuses are just draining like crazy. I don't know. Woke up and I was all plugged up, and now they're just draining. It's driving me nuts. Little something to share. Sorry, you get that on this show. So didn't mean to be gross there for a minute, but hey, it does happen. The other thing I want to talk about is literally within your own city. It's within your own city. You've got crime in your city. You've got, all these things going on, and it just drives you out of your freaking mind. How can it stop? What can you do? What are you going to do? Put on your, wait for the bat signal and put on your bat suit and go out and fight crime? I don't know. But I want to tell you something about another larger issue, and it's a criminal issue. And it is animal abuse. And I'm going to talk a few minutes here before the next break about anybody who hurts a cat and a dog, to me, is a psychopath. That's the bottom line. They're a psychopath. They don't care. They don't have any care or feelings or empathy or sympathy for life or, anything that's hurt or anything like that. So, I know I'm going to get freaking email about people telling me, well, what about hunters? Are they psychopaths? They kill, and are they eating the meat? Are they supplying the meat to other families to help feed them? That's a deer. That's a bear. That's an elk. That's a caribou. Well, you can't kill bears. That's against the law. But, so are they taking that meat and using the skins and feeding other people and clothing other people? Are they doing something with it? This is something that, I don't know. I'm asking you. So, but cats and dogs, your domestic four-legged furry family members that you have, the cruelty to animals has got to stop. I suggest, well, no. Let me give it to you in a scenario. Let me give it to you like this, hypothetically speaking. What if you found out that there was an animal abuser in your neighborhood, and you found out how they abuse those animals? What if you went to that person, dragged them out of their house, and treated them exactly the way that they treat their animals? Do you think that would change their mind? That's a hypothetical situation. I'm not suggesting anyone go do that. But do you think that would change a person's mind? Now, animal abuse is huge problem. Huge problem. In some countries, people kill cats and dogs to eat it for food. That's a huge problem, and there's some national, international, and national organizations which are fighting that now. They're literally over in these other countries fighting animal abuse right now, and that's one of the sections that they're fighting. And anybody that hurts a cat and a dog here in the U.S., listen to me now, is a psychopath. If they'll hurt an animal, guaranteed they're going to hurt a person. Ted Kaczynski comes to mind. Go look him up. Ted Kaczynski. Kuklins. Kaglin. Yeah. Kuklinski. Or KSKI. Not sure. Let me go look at that spelling before the break, and I will. Kuklinski. Go look him up. Robert Leonard the Iceman Kaczynski was an American contract killer who was convicted of 3 murders. That's on Wikipedia. There's YouTube films about him. There was a interview that he did with a major network. The one thing I remember about that interview is that the interviewer asked him, when you started out, when you were young, did you kill cats and dogs? And he said, yeah. He goes, and the interviewer asked him, did you have any feelings about that? And whatever. He goes, not at all. They're psychopaths, people. Animal abusers are psychopaths. At some degree, they will hurt someone else. Okay, they may not go around and stick somebody with an ice pick like Ted Kaczynski did, but he used, other weapons too. They may at some point, to some degree, abuse and maybe harm someone else. Okay, I'm just saying that, and that's, you can go look it up. That's on record. That is in the go look at the psychological profiles of serial killers. Go look at these things. It's all out there. You can go study it up yourself. I did. I'm going to go to break. Come back and we'll hit some news. And I'll tell you more, give you more of my insight as to what I see of the world. So please, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, even if you disagree with me, let me know and show me why. Email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Go to the website at thewaynespearsshow.weebly.com. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Get back to me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. I shall return right after this.
October 29th, 30th, and 31st from Eastland Radio, Repertory Theater, and New West Theater, a Halloween special. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Eastland Radio, Repertory Theater presents a Halloween special just for you. You can also go to eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com.
What is there to do on a Friday night? Why not listen to Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, on Spreaker.com. Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Spear Show podcast for the 30th of October, 2014. How are you? Are you doing good? Are you happening? Are you there? Hey, if you're there, email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. And let me know if you have comments, concerns, questions, whatever it is. Even if you disagree with me, I mean, hey, let me know why. Because, it's okay to disagree with me. You just got to show me why. That's pretty much it. It's really simple. Okay. Now, there are, getting into the news, let's go over to the go-to site that I like to go to, Matt Drudge, drudgereport.com. Now, I mentioned this on my show yesterday, and here's something that you need to understand as well. Who are you talking to online? Who are you replying to online? What kind of a post are you replying to on Facebook or whatever social network? Right? Well, the Seattle Times has an article written by Mike Carter that says FBI created fake Seattle Times webpage to nab bomb threat suspect. The FBI created a fake news story on a bogus Seattle Times webpage to plant software in the computer of a suspect in a series of bomb threats to Timberline High School in 2007. It was 7 years ago, folks. Documents reveal. So, my question is this. Isn't that against the law? the very people who are there to implement the strategies to fight crime are now breaking the law to fight that crime. And in the process, create a bigger problem for the Seattle Times and others and other free press organizations. When the FBI can just create out of nothing a web page from the Seattle Times. The FBI, Mike Carter writes, the FBI in Seattle created a fake news story on a bogus Seattle Times webpage to plant software in a computer of a suspect in a series of bomb threats at Lacey's Timberline High School in 2007, according to documents obtained by the Electronic Frontier Foundation in San Francisco. The deception was publicized Monday when Christopher Segoyan, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. Sorry, Christopher. The principal technologist of the American Civil Liberties Union in Washington, D.C., revealed it on Twitter. In an interview, he called the incident, quote, outrageous, unquote, and said the practice could result in, quote, significant collateral damage to the public trust, unquote, if law enforcement begins co-opting the media for its purposes, like I just said. The EFF documents reveal that the FBI dummied up a story with an Associated Press byline about the Thurston County bomb threats with an email link, quote, in the style of the Seattle Times, unquote, including details about subscriber and advertising information. The link was sent to the suspect's, get this, MySpace account. When the suspect clicked on the link, the hidden FBI software sent his location and internet protocol information to the agents. A juvenile suspect was identified and arrested on June 14th. The revelation brought a sharp response from the newspaper. Quote, we are outraged that the FBI, with the apparent assistance of the U.S. Attorney's Office, misappropriated the name of the Seattle Times to secretly install software on a computer of a crime suspect, unquote, said Seattle Times editor Kathy Best. She continues, not only does that cross the line, it erases it. Our reputation and our ability to do our job as a government watchdog are based on trust. Nothing is more fundamental to that trust than our independence from law enforcement, from government, from corporations, and from all other special interests, unquote, Best said. Quote, the FBI's actions taken without our knowledge traded on our reputation and put it at peril, unquote. An AP spokesman also criticized the tactic. Quote, we are extremely concerned and find it unacceptable that the FBI misappropriated the name of the Associated Press and published a false story attributed to the AP, unquote. Paul Halford, director of AP Media Relations, quote, this ploy violated AP's name and undermined AP's credibility, unquote. Frank Montoya Jr., the special agent in charge of the FBI in Seattle, defended the investigation and the technique, which court records show led to the arrest and conviction of a 15-year-old student. Quote, every effort we made in this investigation had the goal of preventing a tragic event like what happened at Marysville and Seattle Pacific University, Montoya said. Quote, we identified a specific subject of an investigation and used a technique that we deemed would be effective in preventing a possible act of violence in a school setting. Use of that type of technique happens in very rare circumstances and only when there is sufficient reason to believe it could be successful in resolving a threat, unquote, he said. Ayn Dietrich Williams, the spokeswoman for the FBI Seattle, pointed out that the Bureau did not use a real, this is a quote, real Seattle Times article, but material generated by the FBI in styles common in reporting and online media, unquote. Okay? They lied, basically. They took the information that they gathered, they created a false story to catch this guy, and they lied. Isn't that entrapment? I don't care who you are. Assistant U.S. Attorney Tessa Gorman, chief of the office's criminal division, was reviewing the EFF documents provided to her by the Times and had no immediate comment. Catherine Warma, the prosecutor who oversaw the case, has since retired. The EFF posted 172 pages of the documents concerning the FBI's use of a software tool called Computer and Internet Protocol Address Verifier in two cases, one involving the Timberline High School bomb threats and the other involving an extortion attempt against a cruise line in Florida. More than half of the documents relate to the Seattle case. According to the documents, CIPAV lets the FBI, quote-unquote, geophysically locate a computer and its Internet Protocol address. Segoyan said the software is activated when someone clicks on the bogus link. The technique apparently exploits the same computer security vulnerabilities used by hackers. Police in Lacey, Thurston County, contacted the Northwest Cybercrime Task Force after the school began receiving a series of bomb threats beginning in late May of 2007 and continuing into early June. The school was forced to evacuate students at least twice, and the police were unable to identify a suspect. The documents indicate the FBI in Seattle obtained a search warrant to deploy the CIPAV software after the task force, which is run by the FBI, received a public tip about a suspect. Special Agent Norman Sanders, in seeking the warrant, said the Bureau would send a communication to the suspect's computer that would make the computer identify itself for the agent. The case was taken up by the U.S. Attorney's Office, which helped draft and approve the warrant. The warrant does not say that the quote-unquote communication would be a bogus news story that appeared to be published online by the Seattle Times. Now, I read that whole article for one reason, to prove a point. The point is this: the government, the FBI, the NSA, whatever alphabet soup organization you want to talk about, can get into your computer at any time they want. Okay? Any time they want. Okay? Now, if that's not scary enough, have you walked downtown lately? Have you walked downtown lately? Have you seen what's going on downtown? Have you seen the cameras? Have you seen the police? Have you seen, well, let's put it this way, cars that look like they're sticking out like sore thumbs? Have you seen the black cars, the blue cars? Have you seen these? Chances are, ladies and gentlemen, you are being tracked. Oh, by the way, you know that little thing you call your personal communication device, your cell phone? Yeah. It's tracking you wherever you go. If you're an Android user, look on settings and location services or whatever. Yeah. It's better off for you to get a pay-as-you-go phone that is not connected to the internet. And all you do on the phone is call people. That's all you need. That's all you need. But I want to talk to my friends. I want to take pictures. I want to do that. They can tap into your phone and take those pictures. They can use them as facial recognition data. Let's see. If it is important for anybody to get a hold of you, there's this little thing called voicemail. Hook it up to your phone. Do you know that numerous people are getting rid of their landlines to go with their cell phones because you've got your little mini computer right there? You get online, you get data, you send text, you do pictures, you do videos, blah, 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 blah. It's tracking you, folks. Okay? It's tracking you. All right? So anyway, it's one of those things where you have to consider, do I minimalize my life, or do I just go full bore and get all the technology? Do I go with do I go to the point, you need to ask yourself this question, are you going to the level of the transhumanists, or are you going to minimalize what you take in and have, and what do you want to do, folks? That's entirely up to you. There's a new movie out, or a trailer out for a new movie, and it's called Ex Machina. To erase the line between man and machine is to obscure the line between men and gods. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, folks. I'm just wondering if you're checking this stuff out yourself. Okay? Because there's there is something coming down the line that will make you question everything in your existence, and it will make your worst nightmares come true. Okay? Now, it has to be asked, and I'm going to make this very simple. It has to be asked, where are you? And where are you? I mean, you look at all this stuff, you examine all this stuff, you see all this stuff. Where are you? How has the world changed you? Huh? How has the world changed you? Are you going to go full bore and cross the line into that transhumanist ideology and philosophies? Or are you going to minimalize yourself and use what you have and create for yourself those items you need to be able to survive? I mean, that's deep. I know. You can always email me and let me know. Got questions, comments, concerns? Even if you disagree with me, please let me know why. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. Put in the subject line radio so I know you heard this. And think about that, folks. You need, seriously, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, do I have too much stuff and is this really bogging me down? I mean, there's a lot of other questions you can probably ask yourself as well, but where are you at in all of this? Hey, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Come join me at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern tonight on Spreaker.com for Eastland Radio Repertory Theater, a Halloween special, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. You can also go to eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com to listen to it live or the archive. In the meantime, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Join me also on this is it. I'm not going to have the views expressed today. I thought I was. A couple of things got in the way, so not a big deal. Come join me tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, Eastland Radio Repertory Theater for a Halloween special. And I will talk to you folks later. Have a great day.